I'm live. Apparently, I'm live. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to Simon NoChaNoMa, Simon's Living Room. If there's anybody in comments, let yourselves be known. I'm just partaking of some wine. Oh, yeah, well, shut up. There we are. Okay, well, it's a sunny day actually outside. I seem to do this quite frequently. Go inside when it's sunny, go outside when it's raining. But it's a crisp, cold, sunny day. Quite cold, actually. Vince of your mom. Hey, nice to see you. Glad that somebody's joined and watching. Prep for it said that he might make it. I've spammed everybody as usual, so hopefully others will turn up and we can all have a conversation together. Yes, it's quite cold here today. I cycled into town to get my usual coffee and chocolates. My one treat of the week, and it was quite chilly. Hello, Perk. Glad you could make it. Yes, so again, I'm in my living room, and again, I have no guest. I'm in various states of negotiation with various people, but obviously, people have a lot more going on in their lives, and the time to sort of pop into my show is limited for them. So it's I've got commitments, sort of, from people, but for 2020. Although I do have a possible commitment from my good friend Jenny Silver, who's been on my previous shows a few times, but she could be joining at the beginning of December. So looking forward to that. Haven't seen her for a while. But yes, it's just me and you guys at the moment. So, Vince of Imam, Perk, coziness. Your definition, please. Igokochi is the Japanese term for it, and there's various other sort of words that are attached to that, which I've forgotten, which define it more closely. But that would have filled up the screen with kanji and kind of been a bit difficult. It was late last night when I was doing all this. Because as you noticed, I did get a video up on my regular channel during the week, which is sort of quite unusual for me. The one with visiting Shinichi in Amsterdam. Cozy, yeah. Well, if you've got your drinks, your snacks, your warm blanket, and your slippers, and there's no major stress things going on. Hi, Robert. Warm covers, exactly. For me, it involves a polo neck sweater, a warm jacket, and a glass of wine. But my youngest son, for example, he likes nothing better to when he's playing his PlayStation and certainly in the winter, to wrap up with a blanket on the sofa. Slippers. Yes, I am actually wearing now slippers, which as their name suggests, slip off very easily and make it extremely difficult going down my stairs. So possibly one of my Christmas presents this year will be, excitingly, what you get when you're a middle-aged dad is some new slippers. Yes, buying Christmas presents for the parents is what do you want this year? Oh, I don't know, and they usually end up with jumpers and slippers and stuff. I was actually. I mean, I told my youngest son that I've been looking at videos of review videos or gameplay videos of Death Stranding by Hideo Kojima, and at first I thought, wow, this is good. I'll ask that for Christmas instead of money, so I can have something. But the more I watch it, the less appealing it seems to be. So, what's your Nick vape? Is a couch with a sort of tray on it. Yes. I've seen those. You're sort of like you want that game. Well, yes. I mean, I've actually been spoilering it for myself by watching these videos. It looks visually quite pleasing, but as far as I can tell, it's lots of fetching and carrying. It's a fetching and carrying game with a bit of action thrown in. It's an interesting story though. So very Metal Gear Solid, weird supernatural element type story to it. Modern Warfare, yeah. No, I think my son sort of looked at it when it was being reviewed and everything. And I went, nah. And he stuck with like the because there's no multiplayer in it. That's probably why he's not. I mean, he likes to play GTA Online and he likes to play Modern Warfare and stuff like that, and chat with his mates while he's playing. And you can't do that with Death Stranding. There's an online component to it, but it's not online multiplayer, which isn't really my thing either. I used to do that with Uncharted, the early Uncharted games, and that was it. It's supposed to be a 60-hour minimum single-player experience, which is quite good. I like the fact that they've made it a single-player game. No, my oldest son doesn't play video games. He plays the bagpipes, as you do. But my youngest son, he's a big gamer, but he doesn't. He's Fortnite. No, it's not his thing. He likes realism in his shooters, and he likes the absolute extreme level where it's like one shot kill. A one shot and you get killed sort of thing, and no HUD and all that business. So it's quite intense in that sort of thing. Anyway, yes, that's his cozy thing. And when he comes this afternoon and he's finished doing that, it's my turn to go on the PlayStation. And I have my cozy moment with I've done Metal Gear Solid 5 to death. So I've gone back to Uncharted. I'm playing Lost Legacy at the moment. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm playing Uncharted Lost Legacy. It's a bit, a couple of years old, but I was playing Metal Gear Solid 5 for sort of, as I said, to death. I 100%ed the PlayStation 4 version, and then still enjoyed it and wanted to play it not just every Saturday afternoon after the show when my son came. So I downloaded the PlayStation 3 version, which is a bit sort of ropier than the PlayStation 4 version, and I've played that one almost to the end. No, it's not. Yes, it's not. It would not constitute exactly coziness doing that. I mean, this sort of with the backdrop here, this cozy. I mean, those days are. I mean, they're nostalgic, really. Hence the music in the advert, sort of nostalgic Japanese music, to give a nice cozy NoChaNoMa atmosphere. And those days, we remember those days, sort of Sunday afternoons at home. Boring, but you had Sunday lunch, and then some other dreary sport would be on television, and in our house, followed by a program called Farming. As you can imagine, that would be like, it's sort of like news for farmers, because my dad was an animal health representative, so that was his interest, and very, very niche. But yes, there were sort of like cozy times in the living room. She liked Detroit Becoming Human. I've not really explored that game. The graphics looked interesting. Last of Us, yeah. I mean, I've only seen the intro to The Last of Us, and my son's played it to the highest level and even got the remastered version, but I'm not sure about that one. 8 hours a day. Well, I 2 or 3 hour stints. I would maximum a day. Back in my day. But yes, let's have a look. Cozy. So other elements of Cozy. Minicam is playing up again, and it loaded one video half an hour before I started the show, and I was going to sort of pop in just some videos of cozy Belgian historic cities, and it loaded one of Ghent. So here we go. I'll have to click my green screen a bit. It's all right having the sun as your lighting source, but if it goes behind a cloud, your green screen goes to pot. So this is somebody else's video of Ghent. I've got, if I try media files on this and play my videos of Ghent, it slows everything down. So this is just someone's YouTube video of Ghent, which is a cozy city. Well, I'm not quite sure. Oh, that's the bubble chappie. He's often there. And I could recommend it. It's summary here in this video, which is not quite accurate, although it's sunny outside today, so it would possibly be like this in Ghent today. And I've done live streams from there, and you've seen that. And lots of little cozy places in Japan. I find Tokyo quite cozy. In certain places in Tokyo can be very cozy. Even the very built up city center has little cozy corners. I just feel comfortable there. Hang on, let's have a look at comments. 23 hours sleep for 5. Yeah, so I couldn't. I do know a few of these buildings and the history behind it, but that's not cozy. I wouldn't bore you with that. But it's getting to that time of year. Although, yes, I've been noticing that certainly in Japan, people have been putting up their Christmas trees already. I mean, right after Halloween, really. Oh, look, there's that waterfall that I filled an advert at. And I don't really get my Christmas tree out of its box because it's plastic, of course. I don't get it out of its box until about a week before Christmas, and then it just goes up out of tradition. Usually, I'll end up with a photo on Facebook of me and my sons wishing everybody happy Christmas with the same Christmas tree in the same pose. And I try and it looks cozy-ish, but it's not quite the same. Obviously, when you're our age, that Christmassy feeling. I think my sons experience it now. That Christmassy feeling has kind of vanishes. And trying to recuperate that somehow. I'm going to England for Christmas, and it's always nice and cozy at my parents'. I mean, they get the Christmas tree up, and their house is festooned with Christmas cards from people. Right. Let's go from Ghent and go into another aspect of coziness, which is a Japanese aspect. I was looking actually for like my living room, and I was looking for videos as well. Just that because my friend Englandese, I was chatting with him this morning, and he was having family dinner, which is also very cozy. He was having tofu steak. I was joking with him, do you want that rare, medium, or well done? He likes it almost burnt crispy. We agreed, yes, it doesn't taste of anything, but it's all right if it's crispy with lots of sauce. But yes, he showed me a picture of the dinner table, and it looked very cozy there. Yes, this is the kanji igokochi, meaning cozy. It also means comfort, comfort food, and that kind of thing. What's your comfort food, audience? Mine yesterday and the day before, and now the jar is almost empty. Was some ginger jam, on bread thickly spread with butter, which has done my diet no good at all. But it was very comforting. Yes, an autumn. I mean, I've done already done an autumn show, but autumn I find human ginger jam. Human ginger jam? What are you talking about? Human ginger jam. I don't know what that means. It's probably some ginger jam made from ginger by an English jam making company, bought from a supermarket. Jam type jam, really. It's delicious, and extremely sugary, which I've been trying to avoid, but it was so good. Oh, redhead people. No. Ginger, as in root ginger. I was avoiding that perk. Yes, I was wondering. I was like looking carefully to see whether it referred to that or not, or was used in that context. So I was debating whether to use it, but I was looking for cozy, and this is what it came up with. Because yes, I mean, as I say, there's cozy, cozy Belgian times, and I've got this Japanese living room, and that's quite cozy. They like that kind of. I was looking up the similarity between, if I pronounce it, Hokudo. I think I pronounced that correctly. I'm not quite sure. It's I'd have to ask my my friends in Denmark. It's the sort of Danish Hokudo. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but it means coziness in that sense. And I was looking up whether there was a Japanese equivalent, and somebody said that wabi sabi was the Japanese equivalent, which isn't quite the same. I don't think people sat around in their living rooms, sort of all together watching TV or doing family things in their living rooms, feel that they're being wabi sabi. So I went for igokochi. I don't know whether Japanese people sit around saying, "Isn't this igokochi?" Rhubarb reminds you of your dead grandma. Yes, rhubarb crumble and rhubarb pie, as long as there's plenty of sugar with it. Because if you don't put enough sugar with it, it's like with custard. Has to be with custard. Rhubarb pie and custard. Rhubarb crumble and custard. Yes, I haven't actually tried making that myself. I have made apple pie now and again. That's quite delicious. And I have a tin of powdered custard in my cupboard. And when my mother was here, she said, "Oh yes, we should use that and make some custard." Except the tin, the expiry date is something like 2011. But apparently it's all right. I'm not quite sure though. You've never had rhubarb crumble with custard. Yeah, wabi sabi doesn't make you think cozy. It makes you think, my room is falling apart, but it's wabi sabi. It's all right. Yes, and rhubarb grows well on manure, and you can't eat the leaves because the leaves are toxic. Fun facts about rhubarb. And it takes the skin off your teeth as well if you don't. Actually, in the fridge, I have an apple and rhubarb drink. It's rather nice. An apple and ginger drinks. Katakana, cosy. Cosy. No. I'm just responding to a comment there. I was just not randomly saying no. Yes, I think that's enough Californian wine. I need to drive later, as usual. So it wasn't cozy in Amsterdam, actually, last Saturday. Only in the evening when we went to the pub. It was very cozy and very warm. I was wearing this and an overcoat, and I was melting almost. Mm. People don't think of manure when talking of food. No, generally not. But I mean, it helps food to grow, and afterwards, it's where. Yes, we'll not go there. What? Isokohi. Isocoffee, s'il vous plaît. Okay. It's sort of Japanglish with Franglish. No, I want to ask what kopi luwak is made of. Like civet cat coffee, pooped coffee beans. I'm not quite sure whether that's the Nihon Grench. Yes, I tend to go to Japan in the spring or the autumn. I've been looking. I was watching a live stream from near Osaka this morning, like a Japanese site I follow on Facebook, and it was supposed to be the Momiji viewing time, but the lady was saying that it's still another 2 weeks or so to go before all the leaves there turn properly red, which is basically the same here as well. But I always tend to sort of go to Japan and then leave before all that happens. And I'm tempted if the weather's been pretty horrendous up until today. So as you will see, when I release, I'm on a roll. I shall be releasing another video, probably either today or maybe tomorrow if I can be bothered. A walk I did last Monday, and it was raining again. But if it stays fine, I might go and go and explore the Ardennes. And it's just a drive. It's making sure you get there when the leaves are all red and not all gone. There's a sort of a very limited time frame. Just needs a couple of weeks of strong wind, and all the leaves have gone, and you get you get there looking for the autumn colours, and it's just bare trees. 0 degrees. No, it's been, as I said, it was chilly this morning, about 4 or 5 degrees. And apparently in England and the south of France have had major snowfalls. But my area of England, in the northwest, that tends to be sheltered. It's sort of mountainous. Well, yes, they've got all those. It's mostly trees, mountains with trees in Japan. So and particularly coniferous trees. As far as I know, I don't. -8. -8. Oh dear. No, I'm starting to wear layers and layers to work. because I'm mostly outside at work. So even 5 or 6 degrees, it's chilly after a while when you're at work. But here I'm nice and warm. Well, I've got the central heating on for one thing, but so I'll just pop back to my living room. I actually found in the advert, you'll notice that there's movement going on in the room behind me, and I've found videos of this place before, all dating to sort of the early 2000s, because apparently, fun fact, this room was first assembled in the museum in 1983, and then done up again in 2003, and nothing has happened to it since. So all the videos you see on YouTube of people who happen to have gone there, usually Japanese people, the only things that change in the room are occasional decorations, and that record cover in the background there, that changes. And sometimes there'll be items laying on the settees. But it's basically been the same for that room. It's a 50-year-old room that hasn't changed for about 30 years. But I did find a video of from 2019 if somebody went in it. It's a tiny place. It looks sort of quite cozy, but it's very small. I've seen in the video, and the kitchen that you see in the advert is right next to it. I'm not quite sure whether it's worth traveling all the way to Fukui just to go and see it, because I've seen bits of the other bits of the museum, and it looks quite small. It's only a small section of the Museum of Cultural History of Fukui. But it's very cozy, and it's served me well. Polypropylene thermalware. I don't have polypropylene thermalware. Nylon does similar, I suppose. I have a pair of old cycling tights. They're about 30 years old with holes in them. So I should actually get some new ones. I could have done with them actually this morning. I'm wearing quite thin trousers, and it was a bit chilly cycling in. Hello, Dibble. You got the link then? Jolly good. Or did you just click on the notifications? I never know whether it's notifications or whether it's my spam that brings people in. Or my adverts or anything like that. I'm just telling people, there's a new video coming. And I've been given advice by one of my new subscribers and by Light. Light said that my thumbnail for my video for the Amsterdam video was a bit dated. I'm not quite sure. Possibly the style of the thumbnail was maybe dated. Or the photographs, there appeared to be photographs of Amsterdam in there. Logical. It was a trip to Amsterdam, but those were clips taken from frames from the actual video. So I thought they were appropriate, but apparently they're dated. So it also could be in the typeface, but this is my Simon NoChaNoMa typeface, which is meant to be old-fashioned Japanese style. So not quite sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to fiddle around with that thumbnail just for a laugh. Supposedly it is heavy snow outside, so you can lean over, open the curtain, and have a look. No. So yes, where was I? Yes, and then uploading this other video, walk video. It's another rainy walk. Hang on, what's Robert saying? The polypropylene wicks the moisture and cuts the wind. Okay. Well, yes, I suppose you would need that in Canada. Yes, it's their opinion. It's. I would say it was a valid point. I mean, I tend to sort of do. I mean, at one time I didn't bother with thumbnails, and I just used the automatic thumbnail, whichever one showed me looking the most reasonable. Quite often I had me in with various unflattering expressions. The most flattering expression thumbnail I would usually choose, but now I actually fiddle about on like a Photoshop program and quickly throw them together. There you are. Quickly throw them together. Mm. So Dibble, we've all had we've all been talking about what we define as cozy, and we've had rhubarb, and we've had blankets and slippers, and such like. What would how would you define cozy for you, Mark? Hello, Mark. It's been a while. Or perhaps you watch. Do you watch when I'm live? Just are you one of the lurking commenters who doesn't comment, just lurks? And you've seen lots of them, or are you new? If you're new, welcome. Give you a minute. All right, we're going to give Dibble a minute to work out what cozy is. In the meantime, we can ask Mark. Mark, define cozy for you. I mean, I've defined it as that feeling of hygge, or whatever it's called in Danish. Ah, yes, carrying an electric throw around with you in the streets would be slightly difficult. So yes, that makes more sense. Oh, you watch the replays, but it's 4 a.m. and you're watching me live now. I am honoured. 4 a.m. That must be PST, PDT. Hi, Ellen, everybody. This is Otnel, who I met in Amsterdam when we all sort of met up when we met with Shinichi. So she has the same weather as me. Yes, we're all discussing what cozy is, Otnel. I'm waiting for Dibble to tell me what his version of cozy is. It's 4 a.m. wherever Mark is, so hopefully it's cozy there. Is it cozy with you, Otnel? It's cozy here. I mean, that's partly because I'm wearing 3 layers and a jacket, and partly because I've had 2 glasses of this already, and I'm with a bunch of friends around the world in various cold areas. Ah, okay, no worries, Dibble. A cup of tea. There we are. That would do. That would help. That's always the British answer, isn't it? A cup of tea. We're going to leave the European Union, but we're all right. We've got a cup of tea. Something has to be curled up, or it's not cozy. I don't know. Cats could be. I don't know. What would you call a cat? Cozy if it's curled up, or cozy if it's like sprawled out? You hate tea. Oh, bugger. Hot chocolate then. Bovril. Just. There we go. Cozy is on the couch with hot chocolate on a rainy, cold evening. Yes, that's kind of, yes. Not with a glass of wine on a sunny autumn day in your spare room, but well, yeah, it's I mean, if it's sunny tomorrow, I may actually go out and try and do some more videoing. Yes, there's a Dutch word for it. I think Otnell will know this. Knus. Yes, that cat sprawled out on its back. That's beyond cozy. That is sort of gezellig. Gezellig. Pacific Standard Time. Standard, yeah. Not daylight time, standard time. So I'm thinking West Coast. So maybe Nosh. Nosh is maybe given up and gone to sleep. Cozy can sometimes mean quaint. Yes, you have like cozy villages. Certainly in England, in the Lake District where I'm from, and in places like the Cotswolds, you have little hamlets and villages that are quite cozy. There's an area in the Lake District that is only slightly removed by a kilometre or two from the main tourist area near Windermere, sort of the largest lake in the Lake District. And it's only like over the hill from there, but it's got no lake, but it's a valley without a lake, and it's sparsely populated, but it's very cozy. Lots of little winding roads, little farms dotted about, and little bits of woodland and fields, and a river running through the sort of the bottom of the valley, kind of thing. Little hamlets here and there, and I would describe that as cozy. It's one of my favourite areas. Cozy cottage, a quaint cottage. Yes, yes. I've been fortunate enough to live in places like that. I stayed actually in when I was in my 20s working at this museum in the Lake District, and they gave you accommodation. And we started out in a 3-story terraced slate-built house, like 19th century house, which was cozy because all the volunteers were living sort of like students together in this house. But there was a little row of terrace cottages, also slate built, that had been built also in the sort of early to mid 19th century, and they were tiny, but very cozy, with coal fires. Yes, we had a coal shed in the backyard, and making them. You had to make the fire in the morning. Yeah, I didn't notice. The only reason that valley was cozy because there was a cat in there somewhere curled up. Yes, probably. Being crammed against one another on another in a train is cozy. It can be, unless it's the London to Glasgow and they've all had a skinful. All right. Yes. Where was I? On the London to Glasgow. No. Cozy cottages. Cozy. In Holland, Otnell, where would you say is the coziest place? I mean, Amsterdam has some cozy corners, but can you think of any cozy villages? I'm thinking sort of Limburg area. Getting close. Yes, getting cozy. And there are cozy villages in I think I've been to all the cozy villages in Flanders, But there are cozier ones actually in the French-speaking half of Belgium. It's just a bit of a trek to get to them, and they're cozy in the sense that they look cozy, but like quite a lot of villages, they're kind of deserted during the day because everybody's out at work in larger cities. So that's you're walking around a deserted village, and it's not very lively or cozy. They just look that way with the old buildings. And also, cozy is it can be cozy. Well, you were talking about a packed train, but places in Tokyo can be cozy as well, and even crowded places, places where there are people wandering around and just what's the Dutch word for it? Help me, Otnel. There's a Dutch word for sort of just walking about, enjoying, like window shopping and things like that. Limburg, yes, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Limburg is a shared region almost between Belgium and Holland. If you've ever heard of Maastricht, that's the Dutch side of Limburg. It's that area. If you look on a map, if you can imagine, you've got Great Britain, and you've got the coast with Normandy coast, then you've got Belgium, which doesn't last very long, then Holland, and then go right from there and head down east, slightly east towards Germany, and stop after about 3 hours, and you're in Limburg. Wandelen, not wandelen, which is walking. There's a word for it. I can't remember. There was a treaty. Yes, the Maastricht Treaty. Maastricht is very nice. Have you been to Maastricht, Otnel? I went once. It's very historically sort of nice place. Stroll, yes, strolling. But there's I'll have to look it up later. But it's if the train was packed with fuzzy blankets and curled up cats, then yes, being in the packed train would be cozy. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I watched Japan Railway Journal, and they have these tourist trains sometimes. They have like little jazz groups on, or even people singing old time songs, and or you can play games, and they've got little children's areas on the entire train. That all looks very cozy as well. Yes, so there we are. I would recommend if you ever came to Europe and you'd done Belgium, which doesn't take long, and you were thinking, where else can I go that's not too far? And I would go to Maastricht. And there's some German cities, historic cities, not too far away. I would also recommend Luxembourg. I think I've said Luxembourg is rather nice. Certainly, in terms of scenery, province of Luxembourg and the country of Luxembourg has some quite nice scenery with quite hills and woodlands and so on. And Luxembourg City is also very pleasant. I'm trying to think. I'm bothered now. There's a particular word. Yes, probably you will see on Facebook at some point. I will post this word on Facebook or Instagram saying, I found it. It's this. And it'll be in Dutch. What's the word? It's a Dutch word, possibly even exclusively Flemish. I'm not sure, but it's kind of the word you use when you're. I mean, Otnel said gezellig, which means cozy and pleasant. But it's another word I'm thinking of that means just like strolling around in a nice atmosphere. Oh, then you're out. I'm lost the describe the word again. It's like strolling around in wandelen in een gezellige sfeer. That would be the description of the word. And you've not got any particular place to go, and you're just enjoying the atmosphere. I can't remember it. Gemütlich, or yeah, something like that. Something like gemütlich in German, but the Dutch equivalent, which is probably gezellig. Yes, it's because I don't use that word particularly often. Quaint. No, that's just a kind of a feeling. That kind of feeling, just as the sun is starting to sort of drop below the horizon, and the evening lights come on in city streets, and the shops are still open. It's chilly, and you've got your sort of warm clothes on, and ideally you're with your partner or with friends, and there's plenty of people sort of also doing the same, wandering about, and something like that. Anyway, that's your task for this week, audience, is to look up this word and tell me. And my task for this week is to fiddle about with my thumbnail and make it look up to date, and get this video out for you all next week. It's 6 minutes of me in the rain on a walk with some mushrooms, and what else? Possibly tomorrow go and if it's nice, get some photos either for Instagram, or possibly do a video, or possibly just laze about because it's Sunday. When in doubt, just call it wabi sabi. Yeah, I'm of an age when things are wabi sabi. Oh, I hit something there. What did I do? Okay, I clicked. Be careful what I click. I don't switch the stream off or something. You'd watch that. That's the idea, hopefully. And I might ask you all to share and promote and all that YouTubey business. And also, yes, Erin Uber, you know Erin, don't you? Well, she's a moderator with Shinichi and so on. She suggested that with my explanatory video about the 2-channel thing, that I should actually put links in the description, which I forgot to do, to both my channels. This one that you're all watching now, which is the live stream channel, and my regular channel. So I must point out that the video, like the Amsterdam video, and this forthcoming video will be uploaded onto my regular channel. This one is just for us, this channel. On shrooms? No, I was not on shrooms. I was, but there appears a rather nice fly agaric mushroom, quite late blooming fly agaric mushroom appears in the video. For those of you who know what that is. Or was it a death cap? It was either a death cap or it was a fly agaric, but it was quite red and with white spots and quite spectacular. To look at. But yes, so my future videos will probably be of that ilk, of me doing cozy walks. I had thought once upon a time to actually go to Maastricht and do a live stream, but given the problems with my app on my phone and 4G, as you experienced in Leuven, I'm reluctant to drive 2.5 hours, only to be appear intermittently. You can admire Simon NoChaNoMa's hair. It looks darker than it is in reality. I looked at Shinichi took photos of people at the meetup with him and posted them on Instagram, and I looked decidedly silver in the photo. Here I don't mind. The lighting and the green screen give my hair a sort of slightly younger look. You probably have more hair than me, just in the wrong place. Yes, it's mine is starting to get, my widow's peak is starting to sort of thin there, but it's okay. I mean, compared to most people my age, it's not doing too badly. Full out socialist redistribution of wealth. Yeah. If some of that there would go to here, I would look buff. But that requires effort, and yes, it's not the cozy thing. I would not consider a gym cozy or working out cozy, so that's why I don't do it. I'm too stuck on cozy. Next week on Simon NoChaNoMa, more cozy. You used to have my hair like that in grade school and high school. Well, I used to have hair down to my shoulders when I was in my 20s, and then got the chop. Oh, that's curious. This one was found in search. It's probably because the other channel has Japanese characters. So unless you've got a Japanese keyboard and type Simon NoChaNoMa in Japanese, then it probably won't pop up in search, which is a fundamental flaw with my with my other channel. But pics or it didn't happen. Oh, I don't remember if I've got pics on Facebook or not or something. I might like drop one on Instagram with me with long hair and beard. I shall have a look. You might see something on Instagram, and Otnell will raise her eyebrows if she's still watching. Are you still watching? Yes, pigs. Oh, you are. All right. I'm committed now. Me in my mid-20s at my parents' lounging on the sofa. So I think I'm scratching my beard and I have hair down to my shoulders. You must find my Instagram. You just type in Instagram search Simon NoChaNoMa like it's there, and it'll pop up. And then you can follow me and see the adverts for this show and random burger photographs and scenic bits. You'll sign up for Instagram just for this. Oh my God. You don't use Facebook or Instagram. Well, you're missing out on me other than YouTube. I started on YouTube, and then Robert persuaded me to go onto Facebook, and then I went onto Twitter, and I only went onto Twitter because of my actress friend in Japan. You look up information on Facebook. It's not the best source, I would say. What is notices, notifications or the program? But yes, if you follow people on Instagram, you will get notifications that they've posted something. So you don't have Facebook, Otnell. Okay. So well, yes. So you have to rely on Instagram for my adverts. I don't post much on Facebook. Usually, it's just the advert that I posted already on Instagram, and very occasionally I might post a photograph exclusively for Facebook. But generally, I don't use it either, really. Store hours. I use Google Maps for store hours. Even with the local supermarkets, whose opening hours I should know. I generally memory of a goldfish. Where were we? What were we doing? What were we talking about? Who are you? No. Driving. Okay. Cup of tea or hot chocolate, in case Dibble's watching. Still. Snapchat account. Oh, I had one of those. My son's got one. I had a Snapchat account. Eric Surf at 6 was saying, yeah, Snapchat. And Tomoko was saying Snapchat. And people were saying Snapchat. So I went on Snapchat and I couldn't really sort of see what the point was, really. Instagram is built for phones. Yeah, you can get it on your computer, but you can't. You can't post anything on it. You can only look at stuff on Instagram on the computer and like send comments, which is a bit of a nuisance. Coffee. Yeah, I had coffee this morning. I kind of limit myself for just to keep my caffeine content sort of not too. Oh God, my fingernails are dirty. I was from work yesterday. I'm watching myself on YouTube. I'm kind of delayed by about 10 seconds. It's quite interesting. As long as my mouth is in sync with my words. If you notice the advert, actually, I was having difficulty. My computer was struggling because I was doing all kinds of fancy things to effects, like where it zooms into the television and all that, and various layers of video going on, and the computer was not liking it. And as a result, I must have done something, and my voice went out of sync. And I was desperately trying to get it back into sync, and I got as close as I could, and then gave up. And hopefully, the replay of this, I will not be. My lips will be moving in sync with what I'm saying. My next trip to Japan, Otnell, hopefully, fingers crossed, is going to be around about this time next year. Nothing is definite. Nothing has been booked, as I've said in previous streams. It all depends on getting overtime built up at work, which I can then use as holiday. And I've plenty of people to go and see. And I've got, you know who I'm talking about. Robert, Legit Outlaw Jess, is going to be back in Japan when I get there, and she's going to be possibly living in Yokohama. So she said, "Oh yeah, you could come and crash out at our place." So I've got a place in Yokohama. So and other people that particularly want to see and visit, those I'm going to have to sort of try and get into more contact with, shall I say, before I decide to go. So yeah, the long story short, this time next year, Otnell. 10 cups an hour. Go. I wonder if Mark drinks 10 cups an hour. Are you still with us, Mark? Yeah, it's not cheap. That's another reason I didn't go this year, Dibble. I mean, I've been eating into my savings each year. Costs about, with the flight there and back and accommodation and just daily expenses, I can manage 2 weeks on about 2,000 euros. But if you do 2,000 euros a year, it kind of like takes a chunk when you don't have particularly much in the way of disposable income. I don't know. Hang on. Telephone. Excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Youngest son. Just going to have to call him back. Oh, hang on. Messenger. Right, hang on. Hello, yeah? Hello? Hello? What? When the show is finished, which will be in about 3 minutes. Sorry, folks. And then I'll be coming. Why? Do I have to come later, or are you? As soon as possible. Okay. Once I've said goodbye to the people here, who are all now aware that you have called me, I shall be getting in the car and coming to get you. Okay. Okay. Right. Bye-bye. Bye. Yeah, it happens often on this show. Domestic things. My mic looks like the Death Star. I'm going in. Use the Force, Luke. Use the Force. £11,000? What did you do? Like, get all the best hotels? Go on the QE2. 2011. I don't know if I could. I mean, I probably I've had a year out from Japan. So and I've done it 4 times. I've done Japan 4 times, so it could be. But yes, I've not yet. It's not yet faded. But there we are. I'm having to sort of wind up now because I've been family duties. So next week, I'm not quite sure what's happening. I'm looking at guests. There's a guest who wanted to come and who was going to come and meet up with Shinichi last week. I'm in touch with her. She's a Japan specialist, Dutch woman. Hopefully, if I contact her again, I might be able to get her on as a guest next week. Otherwise, it's just me again, you lot, which is fine. I enjoy that. But now I have to go, actually. So thank you for joining, everybody. Perk, Robert, Mark, Dibble, vids of your mom, Opnell, anybody else that was watching that I've missed. And I shall. What else have I got? Sorry if I missed you off, but I shall see you all next week, probably, hopefully. And all those of you who are watching after the event, who I spammed this morning, I hope you enjoyed it. And please look out for my new video. And get yourself a blanket and a cup of tea or cocoa or whatever, and a curled up cat, and watch that and enjoy that as well. Okay, thanks everybody. I have to click this button which says end broadcast and say goodbye and see you next week. Bye.